you ever wondered how to really keep your moxa fresh, soft, and fluffy so that way you can get a perfect cone every time? Well, stay tuned because I'm going to tell you exactly how to do it in 5 easy steps. For those of you who are new to this channel, my name is Maya Suzuki of Shinkyu University. Thank you so much for joining us. For those who have been here before, thank you for coming back. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that little bell to know when we're getting new videos out. All right, so to get straight into it, the 5 top things that you should do to keep your moxa fresh, soft, and fluffy for every moxa treatment. Okay, number 1, make sure that you get the proper box to contain your moxa. So this right here, this huge box of moxa, this is the stick-on moxa that I use for little kids 10 months to 2 years who I can't really trust to sit still because they're crawling around in treatment. So I like to use the stick-on for them, and that way I can just control it and it's a bit safer. Now this moxa, when you buy it, it comes in a nice little cardboard box. It's a very pretty box actually. For those who are interested, I use Senenkyu in treatment. I like their quality control. Choseikyu, which you can buy pretty much most places in North America, is a great brand as well. I just like Senenkyu because 1, I can buy a big commercial box, it makes it a little cheaper, and 2, I just kind of like their quality control. So Senenkyu comes in this great, nice cardboard box. If you get Choseikyu as a stick-on moxa, it's also going to come in a cardboard box. One of my huge pet peeves about moxa distributors is they often sell moxa in plastic bags. And so plastic bags, what happens is it's not a firm container, and so it squishes the moxa. And whenever you squish the moxa, it's going to mess with 3 things. Well, it's going to mess with 1 of the 3 things that control the burn. So the 3 things that control the burn of anything is the quality of the thing that you're burning, the airflow to that thing, and then the density of that thing. And so whenever you put your moxa in a plastic bag, it squishes the moxa and therefore makes it more dense, and therefore it's going to burn hotter with each time, no matter how you roll that moxa, whether you use boards or your fingers. Now, obviously with these little stick-on ones, if you have it in a plastic bag, it can break it off the base, and that's a waste of money. So that's the first thing. Make sure that you have a good box and that it's a firm box. Second thing also has to do with the box is that make sure that you use a cardboard or, if possible, a wooden box to contain your moxa. So the reason why I prefer a cardboard or wooden box is because it can breathe. When you use a plastic container to contain your moxa, it traps in the moisture of the air into the box. And especially if you live in a hotter climate, it's going to continue to trap that moisture, and the moisture will build because it's in the air. That moisture will then get into the moxa and then affect the density of the moxa, making it burn hotter no matter how you burn it. So first thing, put your moxa in a box so it doesn't get destroyed and squished. Second thing, put your moxa in a good box, preferably a wooden box, so that way you can wick moisture out of the box through the breathable wood or cardboard box, and it also doesn't trap the moisture in. So third thing that you're going to do to keep your moxa fluffy and soft for every treatment is that you're going to get some of these little packages. Sometimes they're this one's flat, but these little, I don't even know what you call them, like do not eat packages that you put in dried foods or something like that. What these little guys do is they wick the moisture out of the air as well. You can often find them in like a dried food or a candy box, or I don't know, sometimes in like a furniture box or something. You obviously don't eat them. You just throw them in the box with your moxa, put the lid back on, and that wicks that moisture out of the air. Helps again so that the moisture does not get into the moxa, making it more dense. If you bought a big, huge box of moxa, for example, this box from Senenkyu, it's going to have so many of these little thingies in here, and they just have them like split out usually and have like 1 per container, so that way all the moxa stays nice. And this is again one of the things that I like about Senenkyu and their quality control. So we've gone through the first 3 things. Again, get yourself a box so it doesn't squish the moxa. Get yourself a good box so it wicks the moisture out of the air. Use one of these, I don't know what they're called, but don't like the little things you get in like dried foods. So it wicks the moisture out of the air. So again, moisture density. So that's the first three things. The fourth thing that you're going to do to make sure that your moxa stays soft and fluffy is don't touch it. And this is so important. Do not touch your moxa unless you need to touch your moxa. Because every time you touch your moxa, you're getting oils from your hands and whatever is on your hands into that moxa. The same rings true that when you do touch your moxa, make sure that you don't have any lotion on your hands. Or I know some people lately, they've been using those little like pump alcohol like hand disinfectant stuff, and it almost leaves like an oil film on your hands. That also gets into the moxa, and it's going to change the density, therefore making your moxa burn hotter. So you've kind of heard a trend here of density, 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 density. And that's because, well, the quality of your moxa, it's not really going to change after you buy it, because the quality of your moxa was decided on a few things, like when that moxa was created, when they took the mugwort leaf off the plant and started to dry it. If it was in early spring or midsummer, it's going to have more of a density or less a density. The softer leaves of spring create a fluffier moxa. How much it was ground down creates either a softer moxa or a more crude moxa, right? So that we can't really change. The quality we can't change. The airflow we change when we tent the moxa, after we've rolled the moxa, and also controlling like open windows and things like that. So we can't control that, but the density we can control with many things. So we're going to control it again. First thing, a box. Second thing, a good box. Third thing, these little whatever these things are, right? So those things to keep the moisture out. Fourth thing, clean hands, and don't touch your moxa unless you need to, because again, the oils get into the moxa. So the fifth thing that I highly recommend that you don't do with your moxa is do not over roll your moxa. So oftentimes I see people, especially those who are trained outside of Japan, they've been trained to roll moxa, like for example, in between boards that would look a little bit bigger than this, sometimes cork boards, I've seen sometimes pine boards, and so they use this to roll the moxa, and then they take off pieces of that moxa. The reason why I personally don't like that is because oftentimes I see people over rolling the moxa when they do that, and then it makes the moxa too dense. And then also they pre-roll all of these moxa strips, or like little wormies, and then they leave them out and they don't put them away properly, and then that moxa now is dense and then also has all of this moisture in the air and oils from the surface that it's on, and all of this coming into the moxa. And then you have to touch it in order to break pieces off. So ideally, rolling with your fingers in order to make each and every cone as you need that cone. But more so than that, even if you do roll with the boards or if you do roll with your hands, don't over roll your moxa. So that last one can be unpacked into a huge lesson, one that I actually go into in Shinkyu University. If you're interested in learning more about how to roll moxa with your hands, or how to make your moxa less dense so that you have a more controlled and refined burn, then please, please, please do either comment below, or you can go to www.shinkyuuni.com and set up an interview to see if you're a right fit for the university. So I hope that this helped you to refine your moxa practice so that each and every cone is better than the one that you made before. If you liked this video, please do hit the like button, subscribe, hit that little bell to know that when we're getting new videos. If you think this was a good video and you found some benefit in it, please do feel free to share it. And I'd love to hear your feedback on anything else that you are doing in order to keep your moxa soft and fluffy. Just go ahead and put it in the comments below. Until next time, keep practicing.